Welcome back to Vanillaish Factorio, the series where we are vanilla until we aren't. So let's get started with this. We're about 2 episodes done. So this is there a played time command that I can use? I guess I can show that if there is one. I need to go and check. In any case, let's take a look at what we need to automate next. I want the military science pack, since we want all the science available. Even if we don't use it, we may as well automate it. So piercing rounds, grenades and gun turrets, and we don't have biters, so we're not going to need these for defense or anything, but we may as well in case you have biters on your map. So iron, copper and iron gear wheels to start. Pretty straightforward as we've done before. So we're going to make sure we have a few splitters and some underground belts, and we're going to put them on this side and then send the sort of the military science over that way and probably down onto that line right around there. So to get started, we're going to pull off iron and copper as you normally would. So around about here should be fine. So if you place the factories first, that'll inform us for where we need everything else. So let's just get in the same line as all that. So around about here should do us just fine. And then we will just set this to gears. Okay, and gears will get fed in. I don't think we need gears for any of the others. Do we need gears for any of the others? Can we just put them onto a belt? Why don't we just put them onto a belt and then split? So if we put the belt this way, and we just go underneath here, I'm going to leave a little bit of room around for these, if I can do. Not always possible, but I'm going to leave some room there. And we'll just split this up. And then I'm going to split it both ways anyway, because we're going to need the iron anyway. So I need another splitter about here. And this one can go sort of this way. Like that. In fact, I may well want that only onto one side. We'll give that a go first. So let's just feed everything in, connect everything back to the main power. And the turrets then need iron and copper. 2 sets of iron to 1 set of copper, so we need less copper, of course. So why don't we just combine the iron on one belt and the copper onto another. So let's just send this a little bit further out. And then if I bring in the copper onto a belt sort of around about here, let's get a couple more of you. Like this. And we want it going onto only one side. So actually I want this going one further up. Let's just put it there for now. That's the wrong side. That's the wrong side. Let's put it here. There we go. Because it's going to have to go underground again. And we will have the belt going onto this side, the copper. There we go. That's going to go onto this side. Then we can put the gears onto the other side of it with this. There we go. Gears and iron. All right, and then we can decide what we want, however many of these we want. So to get started, let's just start with like a couple, and we'll scale up as and when we need to. So we want turrets with this, so let's choose the gun turrets, copy it across, and then copy our belts across. We will just feed it in, make sure everything's powered, and then we will feed out on the other side probably. Let's go this way to start off with. And some more power. Alright, so that's the gun turrets. We probably will need to speed this up, and we are definitely going to need to get a couple of red inserters just to make sure we grab the iron. Or enough iron to get started. Alright, so that's gun turrets dealt with. Then we just need to deal with grenades, which is just coal and iron. That's really quite straightforward. And we also need these, the piercing rounds magazines. Now they do just take iron with the previous ones, so we can probably supply both of those from the same belt. And then this one needs to get copper and steel. So I think I'm going to run those separately. So first of all, let's just get rid of, well, let's just start our sort of factory up here, and we'll see how many we need. Grenades. So I don't normally think we need a lot of grenades, but let's get that started anyway. And let's just make sure we have a belt available. fact, let's just put those there. That should have space. And then we'll feed in this side. And this will make grenades. And of course we can feed them out onto another belt, sort of like here, if we only wanted one. And that would go onto the far side of the belt. On here then, we then want the sort of rounds. And that just needs iron for the first one. Let's just move this further over. And then the second one, we're going to need other stuff. So instead of doing that, why don't I try a direct feed going the other way? We'll see how well this actually accomplishes things. So let's just go for here. And we'll feed directly from one to the next. And then this one can just get the steel and the copper. And maybe we just feed back out onto this line. And then combine everything up here. You know, maybe we can have like the output going that way. Like that. And we'd have a belt with half and half. But we do need steel and copper to actually accomplish that. And we need it to get to here. So that's maybe not the right place. Maybe it needs to go on further up. Yeah. And then we'll have the output fed by red inserters. And the input will bring in from the left. Am I short of iron? I am short of iron. Let's just grab some. Okay. I don't really normally want to build upwards like this. I normally want to build outwards, but since this is all one production line for turrets, we could sort of have line going outwards with more of these if we needed to. Generally, I would assume we don't, but let's give it a go anyway. That's electric engine done. What else did I want to do now? Probably advanced oil if it's available. Oil. Advanced oil. Yep, it needs blue science, so we've got that going. So now I can just go this way. Like that. And we will grab our red. Push it that way. And then we'll grab yellow and bring it this way. Then a power pole or something. Okay. So now we need steel and we need copper. And we want them both to come onto a line like this. And doesn't necessarily need to be any further than sort of that kind of area. So we need to bring it off here. And go underground. And we'll do the same thing with steel, but I just have this bit of a block here, so I need to go, well, the soonest I can actually put it down is somewhat like here. And then we'll send it underneath these, like this. I don't know why I put extra space on the coal. It's normally these I need extra space on, but I'll rearrange that later if I need to. Okay, and in comes the steel. That should start making this just fine. Do you have input on the... What are you short of? Oh, I just need to put an insert at the bottom. That'll start feeding in. We'll probably have to increase these to something better, but we don't need to worry about them just yet. So that is everything we need for the science, I think. Military science pack just needs those 3 things in equal amounts. Okay, so... Then we just have to actually start making it. So maybe I leave a little bit of space and we'll bring everything around. So let's just actually bring it up here. And then we'll bring this other side around as well. I'm actually just going to send it the opposite way. Just in case I need to build more around here, it actually makes a little bit more sense that way. There we go. Oops. And then we can just grab the ingredients here onto with regular sort of assembly machines. Yeah, we can just pull them from here and put some more down. Then we just want to select the military science packs if we can on this tier. Yes, we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure the exact ratios we need for military science, but you know, to give it a bit of a guess, that should be fine, at least for now. And the military science will go this way. And we're also going to need just 4 or 3 more red inserters. There we go. And that should start production. It is, of course, going to go over this way, so we need to maybe choose where we send that stuff. The blue science is there, so why don't we just send it and actually complete it by putting it onto the near side of this right here. So if we bring it right there, it will go exactly where I want it. I'm not sure where you might want it, but yeah, we get that idea. And then we'll just bring it through here somehow, probably through that line right there. Seems reasonable. That means going through here. And actually, that's probably a nasty place to go because I'm going to have the main belts going through here. So I need to make sure that I respect those. Yep. And they're going to be going this way. So I don't forget that they're there. Okay, so we'll just reroute it by putting it there instead. Whoops, going the other way. Can I get away with that? Looks like I can. I need to go and get some more belts from my belt manufacturer, but you get the idea. That can go all the way around and we'll get to the right place. Now that advanced oil is done, we're able to choose the other recipe, which is water we need to supply, but we get a better ratio of petroleum out for our light oil and heavy oil. So we can select that, and I can just make sure it's started up. And we will need to make sure we get oil, though. However, water. And of course, this would be the point where I figure out I don't have any water nearby, and I don't have any mods at the moment that gives me water fill. So I need a line of water. It's not terribly hard to arrange. We just need another pump, offshore pump, unless I've already got one. I don't think I do. Offshore pump. There we go. And we've got plenty of iron pipe queued up, so we can just tell it to pocket craft some pipe to grounds, and then get the water set up coming from down here somewhere. And I'll probably bring it up along that line of coal, the coal that's coming up there. So we'll bring it all the way down here and move past this point. So that seems a useful place to mark. Let's just make sure we send it this way. And we'll just make it max length-ish. And then has our offshore pump been done? Yep. There we go. And we'll just run it straight. Needs a little bit of a jump. There we go. And a little bit of a straight pipe. Otherwise, I'll run it all the way back up to the refinery. And the same as before, at least we initially set this up in that we're probably going to want some pipe to grounds. And let's just actually set these so that they link together, the heavy and the light, and indeed the petroleum once I have more iron plates, which I'm constantly running out of. No bots yet, however, so let's just get a few more of those. And we just need one for there. And the same thing at the top. I need to make sure I just disconnect this for a second because this is going to get changed over. And we're going to want to make sure this is set to the other recipe. And that we have everything set here. There we go. And the same thing here. Everything's set up again. So we're going to do the same thing with other refineries. To get started though, we'll be able to get this done. And we still have a box. Well, it's filling up full of solid fuel. We'll be using that later anyway. So I should probably think about, just for the moment, putting more boxes in, just to make sure we have a few of them. It is going to be used. There we go. And All right, so that's just going to box the waste product, and then we're going to have plastics. Now, do we have batteries yet? Batteries? Nope, we should have sulfur though. Yep, and that's going to need water and petroleum. So we already have the water, and we now have the petroleum. So we can make sulfur, which is one of the ingredients for sulfuric oxide, which is one of the ingredients for batteries. So we have solar energy on research, and advanced electronics too, and then batteries after that. So we should probably think about actually getting sulfur processing ready, and that means we should probably think about using up more of this petroleum gas. So one thing I don't want to do, however, is minimize or in other words hinder the plastic production, because we are going to need that as well. So it's worthwhile keeping. So I don't want to particularly put it here, but I do want to consider sulfur. So water and petroleum. Petroleum we can pull off wherever we like, really. We can just send it up here, and since water's here as well, that might seem like a useful place to put our sulfur processing. We're going to need a couple more chemical plants, and I think at least 5, I want to say. Yeah, let's go for 5, and we'll see how well that does. So I've dropped them down, given them the recipe. We just need to do the usual thing with the input so that we don't get this mixed up with everything else. Let's just put the water on a single output and the petroleum on at least 2. Just so they don't get clogged with each other's inputs. And we can just connect everything together, probably just by going sort of here. That's sort of a useless pipe to ground, but it'll do its job. And yeah, go this way. I need some more pipe to grounds, however, so let's just get a few more of those running. Yeah, I'm probably going to be out of iron again. That's not really a problem, though. Let's get all the water sorted out. And we'll do the same thing with the petroleum. And then down here, we can probably supply the petroleum from this line, and we'll just we'll put a gap in the refineries or something along those kind of lines, just so that we have a supply available, like that. And then I just want a couple more of those. I need some more iron plates. I'll go and grab more of that. And we should be running, I think, with the sulfur anyway. Do need some power up there, but we've already got it available. So we'll just run that between the plants. Do I want them all the way through here? Probably. Let's cover them like that, and then there we go. Nice and ordered, nice and straightforward. More of you, please. Ooh, that fit just perfectly. Okay, and then we probably want battery production from this. So the usual way I end up doing this is something like... do I want it like this? Something like that. And then something along this kind of lines. There we go. And then sulfur will come out the top. We can then convert that into sulfuric acid. So sulfuric, there we go. We need iron, sulfur, and water. The water we already have, of course, and the sulfur we have available. So the iron is the only thing we don't have, and it's not too far away because we already have lines available here. So let's just go underground and make sure we just clear out space for our belts coming through, just in case we need the others. And I probably should put another one there. Okay. And we'll be able to pull iron available off this belt. We want it over here, of course, and this sort of depends on how fast we can set these to be produced. So let's just make another couple of chemical plants. Let's say another 2, and we'll see if we can grab those. We can bring in the iron wherever we like if we just put 2 on either side of here, but it depends whether this is more sustainable longer term. So let's try for this, and we'll see how well it goes. So from here, I want sulfuric acid, Copy paste, and then we just want some power. So that's one offset. That's slightly annoying. And that's offset as well. Okay, I'm just going to put them in central. It's fine. There we go. And then we just need to supply water in here, of course. So just as before, we can probably put it from there. And we don't really have to worry about this one so much, but yeah, we'll just run a pipe across here. And just in case I need to extend it out both ways, but then I'll have to deal with the sulfur. And then on the other side of things, we just need to, in fact, I need to skip one of those actually. Yeah, I need to be careful there because we need to get a spot where we can insert the iron. And we need to go underground, have iron available, and it needs to come in around about there. So I need to sort out some underground belts. Let's get 3 pairs. That should do it, I would have thought. One there. I should probably have to go underground on these. I need a gap to walk through anyway, so having them go underground isn't so terrible. And then that's annoyingly placed. I'm going to go underground and not worry about it. It's cheaper to reassign the pipes, but I'm not too concerned. And then we'll just, as usual, just pull off a single line. Heading over here. And just make sure I rebalance the belts afterwards with another splitter. Alright, and there we have what should come out of this, which should be sulfuric acid. And from sulfuric acid, what the kind of circuits do we have? We don't have the rest of the circuits just yet, but we should start thinking about maybe getting electric engine units as well. Yeah. In any case, I'll go and take a look, but we should have this available. I haven't got any fluid tanks for this yet, so it's not going to go anywhere other than into like these pipes like this. There we go. Okay, that's set up, and we've got a little bit of wait for the next sort of research. And I think I'm actually going to change this output here, and I'm going to actually make it produce lubricant. I'm going to need a tank for it regardless if I do this, so I've got to be a little bit careful about stopping things. But if I just put an extra sort of thing there and we tell this to produce lubricant, it can produce a little bit. And it just reminds me we're going to need the lubricant for future set of the sort of the future processing for various things, bits and pieces, but we don't need very much of it, just that we have some available, and that's obviously no tanks yet. So I'll probably will actually get the tanks next, and I'll be able to put lubricant in a tank and sulfuric acid in a buffer tank as well. Okay, solar energy is finished, so let's move on to the next thing. So there's probably more electronics in here somewhere. Advanced Electronics 2, that gets us blue circuits and high-tech science packs. And to automate that, we're going to need the battery, which we've just been preparing for, the copper cable, some obviously the blue chips, and speed modules. Okay, and this needs electronic circuits, advanced circuits, and sulfuric acid. Pretty good. So why don't we start that research? It's going to need 300 blue science. So I did also put in some more labs down there, and we'll continue to scale those up as needed. However, we should also think about those speed modules, and we need to think also maybe about some productivity modules to upgrade our machines as well if we want to. Maybe. Why don't I set up something for the speed modules to start, although I am somewhat caught between these. We probably don't have enough red circuit supply to actually get both of them done. Let's go for productivity. We can always switch them, and I can use this in other places. And to do that, we need the green circuits as well. Considering that half the belt here is filled with red, let me just insert green onto maybe the other half or something like that. And for now, in fact, no, let's just leave the green on a full belt. And we'll send it that away. There we go. And I guess we could split things. but nah. Let's leave them on a separate belt. Plenty of capacity for green circuits is not a bad thing. And let's just insert into here. We're going to need more red inserters, of course, but that's not a problem. Okay, and then we'll just need to queue those up. So let's just put 10 on build. And I will just feed them like this. Of course, this could end up starving our blue science production, so it can be counterproductive. Just be aware of that and, you know, rescale accordingly. And then on the other side, we just need to get rid of this. And it should take less time now for our research to get through, so that is cool. And just output onto this belt. Ooh, am I out of inserters? Well, I'll build some manually and go and grab some more from the factory. Okay, and we can then combine those into future tiers of productivity modules. But for now, you'll see, obviously, the amount of red circuits that's actually consuming. And we've got to think ahead a little bit. And to finish up this episode, we're going to actually go and get these belts extended because we're going to be able to make, I think, we're going to go for electric engine units. And they need to be done. So we will just basically get ourselves some room here. And I think I've gone and picked up plenty of belt for this. We're going to need steel. We're going to need circuits, I think. But certainly steel and certainly iron. So let's just get all of those. And we're just going to bring them up further up here. We're going to need to be able to just pull those off to the left-hand side over here. Maybe sort of around this kind of area. Seems reasonable. And we need to make a few things for that. First one is engine units themselves. So let's get a couple of splitters off here while I continue to just lay out this belt. One splitter. And we'll bring that over here. And we need to drop this down to make a couple of things that should be straightforward. Do I need the iron any further though? Let's just take a look at the engine recipe. Engines. We need steel, iron, gear wheels, and pipe. That should be straightforward. The steel we can pull off as well. And it's just really what we need to add to it. The electronic circuits we add later, so that's going to carry on. And some lubricant later as well. So we're going to need to make both of those. Let's put something down here. Let's have this one make gears. And this one make pipe. I think they both just need iron plates, so let's just get both of those supplied. And let's bring up some kind of power up here. That should do it for those. And let's connect that up so it can start producing. And on the other side, we will just basically put them on one side, one on the other. So if I output there, like that. And we just bring this around and underneath this one. Like that. That'll go on the far side. This one can go in here. Whoops, not like that. Needs to go one further. There we go. And they should both end up correct. And what else was it for the engine? Let's have a look. Engine. Steel, which is going to be straightforward. That can just go on another belt up here. This. And we'll bring it underneath. And probably we'll just make sure we can do that by just putting some underground belt here. This will keep it nice and neat by doing something along this kind of lines. And then we can just put a splitter in as normal. And then we can extend off this way. And put in something over here. Let's leave a little bit more room. In fact, let's put it on the other side, because we're going to need it on the other side anyway. So, there and there. So these can make engine units. Copy paste. Get a couple of those working, and then get a couple of red inserters. You should be done. There we go. And they'll start producing regular engine units. Then we then want the electric versions. So the electric versions are going to need to add some other things. So why don't we just, again, see if we can direct feed, at least for the moment, and we'll figure out the rest out later. So engine. There we go. Copy paste. And it's going to need an input of lubricant. This is where I normally want to do things a little bit differently. Can we actually do... Oh, yeah, this is fine. We can actually just do it like this. Maybe. At least for the moment. Do I do it that way? No, it's going to need to go past that. Let's just move them one further away. Because we can always do that with red inserters instead of yellow. So, there. And engines. And then we can rotate them this way so that we can feed them with a pipe of lubricant, which I think I brought up in pipe to underground. Yep, there it is. And we can go that way. I miss squeak through. If you don't know what squeak through is, it lets you walk between sections of pipe like that. Again, that could be a mod that we could add, but for the moment I'm resisting as long as I possibly can. And there we go. So now we're making electric engine units, which we can put on a belt somewhere. For the moment, I'll put them here. We're getting everything we need. Lubricant we need, and electronic circuits is the other thing. Circuits, that's sort of horrible. Let's just bring them in at the top. And we'll use more red inserters. And then that's quite simple to route them. Let's bring them this way. A couple more underground, and then I'm just going to actually delete the U. I don't need underground actually if I use this. And just make a gap so that I don't have to worry about it. There we go. And that should do that. Advanced Electronics 2 is finished. So, ooh, batteries. We can get up to batteries now. Red and green science already. Just needs iron, copper, and sulfuric acid. And of course, as you know, we're already producing sulfuric acid right here. So we just need iron and copper. And since we already are bringing that on these belts, it shouldn't be terrible to actually just bring that up here. Yeah, a bit more. And bring them across here. Normally, I think we'd sort of need these in a line if I'm sort of remembering right. Let's see if I am remembering right. Batteries. Nope. Oh, it's still being researched. I can't remember. But I think it's just one input on the bottom there that we can feed in. And then the rest of these can go in a line or something along those kind of lines. What is it you need again? Iron and copper plate and pretty much nothing else. So yeah, all we need to do really is just bring across two of the plates and then combine them, assuming that everything is okay otherwise. We can combine them around here, I want to say. Yeah, one there and one just here. Just need a couple more splitters to get everything running. One there, one there, one there. Ah, I'm out of belt. Really? Wow. And we need to make sure they stay separate. There they go. Assuming this can accept a fluid point, which it should be able to, we can just set up a line right here of however many batteries we want and then feed them back out again on another line, sort of this way. There we go. And power poles, I probably will leave a gap there, so we'll put another power pole here. Like that. I still can't select the recipe, but the setup is done, and we just can feed back out with those red inserters. So like this, and we're done. So yeah, we've got quite a little bit done this episode. We got electric engines done. We've got well, essentially batteries done, but we need to wait for the batteries to be done. We've got sulfur done. We've got increased or better sort of oil production and lubricant. We've extended a few other things. I've switched these back across the speed modules anyway. I've got some productivity modules in my inventory. We can all switch them back. You'll see, however, that we're out of plastic, and plastic is the main shortfall when you start producing red circuits. So while this is producing, it isn't producing enough, which is why we need more refineries. And that will work just fine. I just need to make sure, excuse me, make sure I leave enough of a gap that I can start more of these up. So we can put them like this and connect them up. Copy and paste. And we've got a scalable setup here. We probably will need more plastic chemical plants. I imagine about 4 or 6 or something along those kind of lines. But we've got everything we need to produce that. We just need more petroleum input, more coal, and we get lots of plastic out. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share if you haven't already. If you've got any comments, particularly about improving the setups, I'm more than happy to hear them. As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more Vanillaish Factorio.